Hi, welcome to Clashing with Clint and Zech.
I'm Clint.
And I'm Zech.
We have a special surprise today. Both of our favorite attack styles. What is that, Zach?
Zap Dragloon attacking for Town Hall 8.
All right, let's get to it. All right, guys. Town Hall 8 Zap Dragloon attacking. We're going to talk about what to look for. And as we begin this tutorial, you should know that this video is geared towards Town Hall 8s with level 3 dragons and level 5 lightning spells. Those are essential in order to maximize your attacking ability at Town Hall 8 and in war. Unlike subsequent Town Halls, you can 3-star most any base with this attack alone. You don't have to learn other attacks at Town Hall 8, although other ones are great. All right, let's get started.
Air defenses.
Air defenses. We want to know where the locations are of these air defenses in respect to each other, whether they're deep inside the base or whether they're towards the outside, what's in their vicinity, and their levels.
Air sweepers.
Air sweepers. We want to know what direction the air sweeper at Town Hall 8 is pointing, and for subsequent Town Hall levels, where other ones are pointing. How many do they have and what's in their vicinity?
Clan castle.
We want to know where the clan castle is in respect where our entry point's going to be. If it's filled, we want to watch previous attacks to know what's in it, and if we ever need to pull it, we'll discuss that.
Shape of base.
The shape of the base is important for knowing how your initial drop is going to be due to funneling, which we'll discuss momentarily. Square, rectangle, those are going to have different attack strategies. Circle versus square is going to have a different attack strategy. Anti-2 versus anti-3-star bases are going to have different attack strategies. What's next, Zach?
High hit point buildings.
High hit point buildings. High hit point buildings have a major effect on the drag pathing. The Loon pathing is important too. It's impacted by the drag pathing.
Funneling.
All right, funneling. What is it and why? We're going to discuss that. That is probably the most important aspect of drag attacking, really at any Town Hall level, but especially Town Hall 8.
Loons.
Balloons. We want to know the timing of the balloon drops, the placement. Do we split them up? Do we put them all in one place? How many? What defense? They go for defenses. Do we use them for tanking or do we use them for damage? Next.
Spells.
All right, spells. Now, of course, with Zap Dragloon attacking, we're going to use lightning spells. Before you have that, you may be using Rage and Heal.
Other topics.
Some miscellaneous topics. Sometimes ground troops are added. Not usually a good idea, but we'll discuss that. And we'll also discuss other troops like minions and a warning against absolutes. Be careful with absolutes. It's never good to say always. Okay, guys. So let's discuss the previously listed principles and the application of those principles. We're going to use some replays from my attack log, just random ones, and some more attacks as well, both from us and from opponents. We're going to look at some do's and some don'ts. All right, so to get started, the first thing that we listed were air defenses. And if we take a look at this base here, we have 3 air defenses that are not within 3 spaces of each other. They are in a triangular shape. Now, if there are only 3 spaces or less between each one, you can zap 2 at the same time with 4 lightning spells that are level 5 or above. All right, so if we're looking at this one, that's going to weigh into our decision. Now we're going to look at the levels. We have 2 level 5 here, it looks like, and a level 6. I'm looking at a small screen. Now we're going to look at this sweeper and look at the direction it's facing. It is going to be blowing east, a little southeast and a little northeast. All right, so that's probably going to be the side we need to attack from. We're going to take out the Air defenses on the right side. We want the air defenses opposite the sweeper, since the sweeper is blowing into the base. Okay, and that is going to leave only the air defense because we have 7 lightning spells, and then we'll have 1 in the clan castle. That's going to leave 1 air defense. Now we also need to look at the shape of the base, which we discussed, and always take note of those corner huts there. But the shape of the base is kind of a square, maybe a rectangle. If it's a rectangle, you want to come at the shortest side if possible. And on a square, the reason that's important is for funneling purposes, and we're about to go over that. So we look here, we've got a builder hut on the side that we're going to enter from. Okay, so that's going to be 1 dragon there. Then if you take a look at the 3 lines on both of those corners, those are the areas that we want to hit to start creating a funnel. Now we mentioned funnels earlier. This is one of the most important aspects of not only drag attacking, but all attacking as you go through Clash of Clans, advancing through the different levels. Now the red there is going to be the loon pathing that we're going to talk about. But that funnel needs to create a space, kind of a V or a U shape, an arch, that the dragons can go in, and they will force their way into the middle of the base. Now, the red that I showed you there, and we're looking at the clan castle now, but the red that I showed you there was the path that we want the loons to take down that final AD and the sweeper there. Now, this clan castle, you can see that there's no clan name on it. We have some little headstones around the base, so it looks like it's an abandoned base. The collectors are pretty full. Now, it is off to the side, so if it does have troops, it could present a problem, especially if it were deeper in the base from the side that we were going to come in on. What can happen there is strong damage troops like wizards or dragons can pick apart your dragons as they're going down the base as they start to fan out and spread apart from each other. Now this one's kind of close to that corner. Now in this orange here, we're skipping on here, the orange is going to show you the high hit point buildings. Now you'll notice that dragons converge around these buildings just because it takes longer for them to get knocked down. Dragons are high damage, but again, these buildings are high hit point. So you're going to see them converge around those. Take note of that when you're planning your attack. Okay, now back to that clan castle just momentarily. I don't think that it has troops in it, so I'm not going to worry about it. This is a regular multiplayer attack. Now here I'm drawing the arch that you want for you when you're creating your funnel. And the funnel, much like how an army flanks the sides when they're going to attack their enemy, the funnel is to push your troops into the middle rather than pushing the enemies into the middle. So you want your troops to kind of converge on the middle of the base there. All right. Now we're going to look at the attack itself. You can see them doing 4 lightning spells on those back 2 air defenses. You want to take out as many buildings, particularly air attacking buildings, such as arch towers or whiz towers, as you can. If you can ever get 2 air defenses, again, if there's only 3 tiles between those air defenses, or if you have a sweeper in the vicinity, you want to take that out as well. Now you can see I started with the corner builder hut. Then we started putting the 3 dragons on each side, 2 on the side that the builder hut was on. And the funnel, it's kind of rounded, so the funnel was very quick. I went ahead, I didn't even have clan castle loons in this attack, so I just sent the balloons onto the sweeper. You can see nothing came out of the clan castle. And they're going to stay in a pretty fairly straight line once they get to about the middle of the base. And that's how you can tell when you have created a great funnel and you're running with a good arch. Your dragons should create a straight line once you get to about the middle of the base. They don't fan out until about the end of the attack where they're reaching the opposite end. And if you do that, you're going to have tons of dragons left over, quick attacks. You're never going to worry about stragglers out there trying to get the third star for you. Now, drag attacks are very strong. You can just spam them and get 3 stars a lot of times. So just because you're getting 3 stars doesn't mean that you're doing the attack properly. And these principles that I'm going to teach you here, they're going to carry over into later town halls. I see people who are great Town Hall 13 attackers who have no idea how to use dragons. So these principles, even though they're at Town Hall 8, the second Town Hall with dragons, these carry over very well. Next base. Now this only has level 5 ADs, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's a fairly young Town Hall 8. Only level 5 air defenses. This was another one from the attack log. Alright, so we're going to take a look here at where the defenses are. They are not within 3 spaces of each other. In fact, they have 5 tiles between one another. You can tell because most buildings are 3 tiles wide, and then you have 1 tile with your storages there. All right, I mean with your walls there. I'm sorry. All right, so if we take a look there, we have a sweeper at the southeast side of the base. It's pointing into the base. So we would want to take out the 2 opposite air defenses from that. Okay, and there's the X's there on those 2 air defenses. We're going to see here, we want to come in from that side. That's what that red arrow is showing us. Now we're going to have that 1 air defense there to take down, and then the sweeper is in front of it. So we want to have the balloons coming directly down that line. Now there is the threat that they could branch off to the 2 cannons there. So we want to be careful that we don't have them take a left and leave that air defense, although they would still power through fairly easily. We want to make sure, you can see right there the path that they could possibly take. So we're going to make sure that we get those cannons knocked out so that our balloons go directly back to that air defense there, just as drawn. All right. Now you can also see from the shape of the base, these corners are quite rounded. There's already an arch. It's perfectly, the base is shaped perfectly for you to not even have to really create a funnel. Maybe take off those army camps there on the corners, and then you can just pretty much spam the dragons around, as long as you don't do them in one spot. You want them spread out evenly. You still want a couple on each side, and then spread evenly through the middle, even when the base is shaped well enough for you to just drop them in that formation without having to work on the corners first. All right, so let's take a look here. We're taking out the back air defenses. We're getting as many air attacking defenses with them as possible. Now you notice there, I didn't realize I only had a level 2 lightning in my clan castle, and that was not enough to take out that back air defense. So this gets a little interesting. So here I am dropping the dragons. We're going around, and I did just go ahead and spam them around that arch there, because again, the funnel's already kind of created for you by the shape of the base. And again, we are dealing with 2 air defenses. They are only level 5, and the back one has a lot of damage done to it. When you have a level 2 or 3 air defense in the clan lightning spell in the clan castle, those are going to almost take out that last second air defense, but they won't quite get it if you're using level 5 air defenses of your own. Okay. Oh, that's a beautiful arch on those. There, I'm showing you in the drawing there that it's a level 2 lightning that did not take down that air defense. All right. So we dropped a couple of loons there of my own to take out the left cannon and to take out the arch tower at 3 o'clock. so that the main balloons would come through and take out the air defense there. Um, Now, dropping your Barb King, you can use your Barb King to help funnel and path your dragons. You do want to be careful that there are not witches in the clan castle. The skeletons will run towards any ground troops, and that includes your heroes. So if they run towards the Barb King, they can take your dragon chasing them. Uh, so just be careful. Try to drop them after you know that there are no clan castle troops, or that the clan castle troops are only air attacking, not ground troops. Uh, and then you can see here by that green line that we have a pretty straight drag path. A couple are ahead there on the west side of the base. The king is tanking there on the right and keeping dragons from having to go way out there and get lost out on the side of the base. So it looks like we're going to get to that back air defense fairly easily with plenty of drags left. Let's take a look here. How many dragons do we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how drag attacks, Zap Dragloon attacks at Town Hall 8 are so powerful that I don't even look to 3-star. I actually look to make quicker attacks, and I look to see how many dragons I have left rather than whether I'm 3-starring or not. People can, a lot of times at Town Hall 8, you can just drop your dragons in a corner and they'll still 3-star. But when you do reach some well-designed bases, um, these basics will come in handy. They will help you to actually 3-star the account. Let's take a look at another attack. Another attack. Okay. So here we have a battle against the Woman of Steel. Wow, I'm surprised I made it through this one. All right. So again, we have 3 air defenses. That's how many come at Town Hall 8. We do have some weak ones here, some level 5 air defenses. They go to level 6 at Town Hall 8. If we take a look here, this is kind of an oval base. It's, a circle base. It's a square but with rounded corners. So it is not a difficult base for creating your funnel. They do have a sweeper on the south corner that is pointing southward. It is not pointing inside the base. So you can attack anywhere back through there. So let's take a look at the lightning spells. I chose here to take those bottom 2 lightning spells out, took some extra buildings with them. That's going to leave that back air defense back there that we have chosen. So again, we try not to wrap corners unless there's a particular style of base, and I'll go over that in a few minutes. But we try to always wrap the side. We make sure there are no corner buildings. If there are, we start from those. Okay, going to have the balloons come down. We took some to the left so that we could make sure that our pathing is clear, that there's no way that the balloons would take a western or southern path and avoid the air defense there, the solar air defense. So they are now just going to crush the rest of the base almost alone. You have a perfectly aligned dragons just crushing the base. The east side here is a little weak, but the balloons are splitting up and taking care of any defenses. Sweepers down there by itself, blowing one little dragon, drying its mane. It's a little hair dryer for the dragons. All right, and the dragons are going to come down here and take care of the army camps. So this one is a very fast and easy 3-star again. It's not a very developed base, but again, these are just random bases out of my attack logs. All right, so let's look at this one. Now, this base has the It has level 5 air defenses again, but it does have the sweeper pointing inward this time. And this one is more of a perfect square. There are squared corners, so we do have to create a funnel on this. We do not want to wrap a corner, because what happens is your dragons fan out to the sides, and you don't get a lot of power going into the middle unless it's a particular base. And again, we'll cover that here momentarily. But we're going to look. You see those two air defenses back there? If you look, there are only 3 tiles. You have to study these closely now, but there are only 3 tiles between them. And if you hit perfectly between those 2 air defenses, you're going to take out both of them. All right, and then on the bottom one, you can take out, I could have actually taken out that sweeper as well. Didn't realize there were only 3 spaces there, but it didn't matter. We took out the archer tower with it. Now look at the clan castle here. You want to make sure that clan castles are centered, especially if there's a probability of having clan castle troops in them. So that's what possessed me to take the 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock position with creating the funnel. That's the south and the west corners. Again, we're going to do approximately 3 drags on each corner because these are perfect corners, and we want to make kind of a V or U shape there so that our dragons go towards the middle, as you can see in the drawing, that we want to happen with our middle 4 dragons. Okay. All right, is anything coming out of the clan castle here? No, looks like we got lucky again. Okay, so there's really nothing for the balloons to do in this attack. I simply just waited to make sure nothing was coming out of the clan castle, sent some in on one side to go ahead and help to tank for the dragons. Now, by tanking for dragons, I mean that they're going to soak up some of the seeking air mines and the air bombs. That's beneficial because they only take up 5 spaces versus the 20 spaces for the dragon. Okay, they're high damage as well, and they target defenses. That's another great thing about balloons. But all of these things make them very beneficial to use with dragons. I can't stand when someone is in war at Town Hall 7 or 8 and they ask for a dragon in their clan castle for a war attack. You should always take balloons in almost all cases. Again, I don't like absolutes, but in almost all cases, you should always take balloons. The harder it is to reach air defenses, the more balloons you want to take. All right, so let's take a look at this base now. This is interesting. This is where we're going to look at the possibility that the shape of the base will allow you to wrap corners and to do it successfully. Now, you can still wrap corners and get 3 stars, but as a rule of thumb, it's a bad idea. Again, because of the way the dragons path as they're coming through the base. Now, this kind of hexagonal base type here, there are also the very elongated diamond bases. Those, as long as you're traveling long ways across the base, you can actually wrap corners on those. Now, you do have to take into account if there are builder huts out to the side, you want to make sure that you get those. Okay, now here I'm showing you that you could either go wrap the corner and go long ways down the base, or you could arch around one of the sides there. It makes no difference on these bases. Really, it depends on where your air defenses are, but because the base is elongated, you're not going to have the dragon spreading out to the sides the way that you are if you go into a square base wrapping the corners. Okay, so let's see this attack. Let's see which way I went. I believe this is the attack that I came in from the side. Let's take a look here. Okay, we're going to zap that right air defense. We're taking down 3 buildings with that. We zapped the bottom, put a little bit of damage on the king, and took out a couple more buildings, a couple more extra buildings. That's going to leave the northwest air defense. Now these are level 6 air defenses, and this was actually in war, so I'm going to have optimal uh, lightning spells and optimal level of balloons. Okay, so I sent my dragons, the first dragons, of course, to the builder huts. Now I'm letting 2 up there. That top corner uh, is a little brisker than the west side that has kind of the soft curve there. So I sent a couple of extra dragons up there to make sure that we create the funnel a little better. Sent a couple of extra dragons in where their clan castle dragon was coming to battle. It's always usually going to be a uh, max level dragon, so it takes 2 or 3 of them to easily take it out. Sent the clan castle balloons in there directly in towards the air defense once I knew that the clan castle dragon was occupied. I don't want it taking out my balloons. Okay, now the balloons will tank for the rest of the base. There are certain places that people tend to put their uh, air traps. Those are going to be around other air defenses, around town halls, and high damage areas so that they tend to take out more of your dragons. Now, if you have your loons soak up that damage, you keep more dragons alive. You can see that these kept a perfect line coming across the base. Now, they are going to go, I believe, to the south corner and then to the east corner rather than splitting. But we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dragons, some barbarians, and some of the clan castle loons are still alive. So this was a great example of how you can still attack, even though this is a base that's optimal for uh, attacking or to wrapping the corner. You can still attack it from the side and it works just as well. And again, this is one of the only situations where it's great to wrap the corner. Now this next attack I'm going to show you, it's the same style of base. I believe it was 1 or 2 slots down in the war. They had 2 people with the same base. I'm going to jump in it, and I'm going to wrap this one just to show you that it can work. Now these are, again, it's level 6 air defenses. The clan castle there is perfectly centered, so it makes it even better for me to wrap that top corner. The air sweeper is pointing downwards. The dragons don't have to get their mains dried. And then we have we will have, let's see, the bottom and the right air defenses are the ones that I believe I zapped in this one. It should be. That leaves the balloons an easier path to get to both the air defense and the air sweeper there. So let's take a look how this goes. Now, one thing I didn't mention when I was mentioning high hit point buildings is the Barb King. The Barb King is also going to keep your dragons, and I'm drawing here some more high hit point building areas. I just want to make a note that people don't often take these into consideration. Your clan castle's high hit point, your town hall's high hit point, and you think, oh well, that's a good thing if they're getting the town hall. Well, that's fine unless there are, 2 air defenses right behind it that are slamming your dragons the entire time they're trying to take it down, and it's taking forever. Okay, so if you take a look there, you can kind of see the path. I'm kind of drawing some of the different paths that the dragons will take as they're traveling down the space. And you need to make note of this, because the more advanced you get in the game, the more important these types of things are going to be. And these are the types of things that a lot of advanced players don't even look at when they are planning dragon attacks or air attacks. All right, so now in the red here, I'm showing you the defense paths. And these are, your balloons target defenses. So these are going to show you kind of the paths that you could drop loons and the paths that they would take. These are the kind of things that you need to look at when you are planning a dragon attack. Again, most of them are going to be easy enough to where you can just blow through them, even if you just spam them. But you will have people who have a decent Town Hall 8 base, that takes all of this into consideration, and they build it to where you really have to think about your attacks. All right. So then I'm going to have the Barb King. The blue line there is representing where I want the Barb King to help with the outside buildings. It's not only going to help the outside buildings, but which keeps the dragons kind of centered inside the base. But it also is going to attract some fire from the units that would be attacking the dragons, such as the arch towers and the wizard towers there. Now those wizard towers are quite weak. The arch towers are developed, but the wiz towers are weak. But every little bit helps. All right, so let's take a look. Now, you can see how the base gets kind of fat right there in the very center because it has those 5 compartments that go across the center. We also have those east and west builder huts that we have to account for. So what we'll do here is we'll send a dragon to one, we'll send the Barb King to another, and those will come in and they will kind of make that base a little skinnier there in that middle area. You can see by the lightnings we took out some extra buildings again. All right, here comes those corner buildings right after the lightnings were dropped. Okay, Barb King on the left, dragon on the right. Okay, now we have a dragon coming from the top builder hut. Now here's where we are going to wrap the top corner there. Again, this is something that I feel nasty doing it, but in this base it's actually quite okay. Going to send the clan castle balloons on the side that the air defense is on, and it should travel right down there to it. And then I'm sending over there to the right just to help the dragons on that side is where I sent my balloons. I usually bring about 4 of my own balloons. You can bring more again if there are things deep inside the base that you feel you may need balloons to get. That happens a lot more at Town Hall 9, 10, and 11. But at Town Hall 8, 4 should be usually enough. You may not even need to bring your own balloons. I like to do it just because 9 dragons are plenty, and the balloons help on both sides or down 2 different paths to make sure that the air defense gets taken out and so on. Okay, you can see these guys are, even though there's a bunch on the right side that kind of bunched up there, they are coming down perfectly even down to the bottom on both sides. Those will get hung up on the Barb King for just a few seconds. These guys are going to knock out these last buildings, and then I believe there's that bottom builder hut. Yeah, they're coming down, taking out the bottom builder hut, and this one is crushed. Just a little over a minute and a half. Okay. And again, we had plenty of dragons left on that attack. All right, so let's take a look here. What did we do next? I believe this is where we're going to take some of the things you don't do. Yes, this was attack against Fayez Naeem Mini in our entry-level clan. This is a Town Hall 8 account. You can see they just spammed some drags up there up top. He could have gotten lucky, possibly taken this base, but he's not even using lightning. He's using 2 hills and a rage. Now, back in my day, back before lightning became so overpowering, we did actually use rage and hills. A lot of people thought hills were a waste. I sometimes went with 2 hills and a rage, or 2 rages and a hill. Still do that at Town Hall 7 at times, because the lightning will only take out 1 air defense at Town Hall 7. But this attack, he didn't. He just spammed the dragons all in one spot. He didn't worry about a funnel. He didn't worry about where the air defenses were. He didn't worry about the clan castle. He didn't even worry about the sweeper, as you can see here. The sweeper's pointing to the east, if I'm not mistaken. He should have taken out those two air defenses with lightnings, which if he had, even if he doesn't have uh, the level 5 lightning yet, which should be your second upgrade, he could have used a potion and taken out those back two air defenses and then come in like this after funneling. He didn't do that. He just spammed everything right there. Oh, this is an ugly attack. He drops the Clan Castle Dragon. No loons. It's a dragon. And he brings archers. Okay, now let's discuss. I kind of mentioned with the Barb King a couple of attacks ago how a Barb King or ground troops will pull skeletons, ground skeletons, and ground skeletons will pull dragons. I have seen dragons go from one side of a base to another. You do not want that to happen in a war attack. As a rule of thumb, especially at Town Hall 7 and 8, it is not good to mix ground troops with your dragons. Now again, I hate absolutes. There are situations where you can send hogs in, especially at Town Hall 7, to take out an air defense, since you do not have that benefit of the extra power of lightning that Town Hall 8s and 9s have. So we see here he is running out of space. He's down to 2 dragons, a few archers, and a Barb King. That's not going to be enough, and Nai Mini is going to defend at 90%. I say defend because at this level everything should be a 3-star, of course. Okay, so War King, terrible attack. I hope you'll watch my video and improve on that. In fact, I invite you to share to win 4 and we'll help you. Okay, so we're going to take I believe we're taking another look here at another bad attack. Let's see what happens here. Oh no, this is my attack in war against number 7 Ali. Okay, this is not a bad base. He does have 1 weak wizard tower. It looks like he's been upgrading everything else and left that 1 wizard tower to last and an archer tower to last. But he does have a developed wiz tower and has level 6 air defenses. All right, so let's take a look. This is a pretty wide base for Town Hall 8. I hate that we didn't get any anti 3-star or anti 3-star bases or any spread out bases, so I could show you guys that. But this is a larger base. It's kind of spread. And the thing is you just have to pay more attention to creating the funnel. We used to have those bases in wars where people would spread all of their buildings all of the way across the base and from corner to corner, side to side, and we would still 3-star them with dragons. We just by making sure that we funneled from one corner to the next and running the dragons between. All right, so if you look here, I just showed you some pathing to get to the sweeper and to the air defense there. And I'm showing you, since this base is not a perfect square, we're going to have to trickle in some dragons to create that perfect arch there. Okay, so pay attention to how the drop is. Now we do have the builder hut up top on this one, and there are no other builder huts. So typically we would start up top, and then we would start funneling on that top corner and on either the west or the east corner. This one it's going to be the west. Okay, we took out the right side air defense, took a couple of extra buildings, and again took down the south air defense, took down an extra couple of buildings. We're going in behind the sweeper, of course, and we have an air defense left on the west side at 9 o'clock. Okay, we have that first dragon came down from the builder hut. Now we have some dragons coming down You can see how I trickled them in to kind of, one, to work on the top, and a couple to start bringing down and working down that side over there to where they can form a straight line and go kind of an arch, but form a straight line by the time they get to the middle of the base. Now this time, I did drop my loons a little too early, and I have no dragons out there on that left side, but I haven't dropped my king yet. I was saving him until that dragon became occupied with my dragons, so I could send him down to keep dragons from having to backtrack and clean up that side over there, the trash buildings on the side. Okay, so we have now taken care of that Clan Castle dragon. Now remember I told you about the centering of a clan castle. Now, if that would have been further to the southwest, that could have been ugly. He could have picked off, and deeper, of course, but he could have picked off one or two dragons at a time and left me with about half of the dragons that I have now. It looks like I'm going to end up with 8 or 9 dragons, finishing this one up very quick. I was fortunate there. So I hope that this has helped you. Please like and subscribe. And I'm going to have Zech come back and perform a little outro for you guys. Have a blessed day. And again, we hope you'll join us.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. God bless.
Gonna give us an outro, Zech? God bless.